Hey everybody, hope everything is going well with you guys today. In this video, we're going to talk about Tezos. I'm going to go over on why I'm very optimistic about the token's future. And if I happen to convert you, or if you share my bullish sentiment, I'm going to show you guys the best places to tuck your Tezos away so you can earn a good 5 to 7% interest on them while you're waiting for these tokens to go to the moon. We all come from different backgrounds, we all have different preferences, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the time to go over all the platforms that you guys can stake your tokens on, whether you're the type that prefers to have custody over them in a hard wallet, or maybe you don't care about custody, you don't mind leaving the tokens on a third-party exchange, you just want the process to be simple and easy. Regardless of where you lie on that spectrum, I've produced a video that's going to cover everybody's needs and wants. Also, the focus of this channel tends to be on lending platforms, and recently I've gotten into doing reviews on DeFi platforms. If any of that interests you, I welcome you guys to join my Discord channel. All you guys got to do is reach out to me on Twitter, and I'll give you guys full access to the channel. And before we dive into this video, make sure you guys click that subscribe button, hit the notification bell if you're interested in the topics I cover on this channel. And given that this is still a small channel, I tend to be very responsive and I engage with my community a lot. So I would greatly appreciate it if you guys would comment down below, whether it's good feedback or if it's constructive feedback. I welcome it all. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and dive into this video. In this review, I'm going to quickly go over some of the general points, the points that I think will lead to adoption and the expansion of the Tezos ecosystem. I could probably go on for 30 minutes to an hour about Tezos, but we're really going to focus on the key points that I think are going to drive its growth. So if you're looking for an in-depth review of the technicals, you're better off at watching some other video. What I'm going to do moving forward is basically distill everything that I've learned and serve it to you guys in a 3-minute presentation. But before I highlight those points, I'm going to show you guys this clip that I think does a pretty good job of encapsulating Tezos' core objective.
One of the strongest use cases for blockchain is tokenizing real-world assets. This means that anyone can own a fraction of assets like real estate or securities rather than purchasing the total amount. For example, you can own 0.25% of a building in New York City or own 25% of one Amazon share. This next wave of tokenizing real-world assets are called STOs, or Security Token Offerings. The largest standalone investment bank in Latin America, BTG Pactual, will utilize Tezos blockchain to host $1 billion of security token offerings. In addition, Elevated Returns, a securities firm, will tokenize $1 billion of real estate on Tezos blockchain. Tezos is emerging as the clear leader for STOs, and here are 3 reasons why institutions like TokenSoft are choosing Tezos as the best platform for tokenizing assets. 1. Institutional-grade smart contracts. The Tezos blockchain facilitates formally verified smart contracts. This means, prior to sending $1 billion over the blockchain, you can run a formal test to simulate it to ensure it will execute smoothly. 2. Secure custody. A formally verified multi-signature contract is now included natively within the Tezos client software. This enables cold storage deployment and management of smart contracts for the highest level of security. 3. Upgradability. Tezos includes a formal mechanism by which stakeholders can upgrade the protocol. This enables Tezos to smoothly adopt new technical features and stay at the cutting edge.
Oftentimes, you might have heard some prominent figures in the crypto community say that everything is going to be tokenized. And I agree with them. I think it's inevitable. We're headed in that direction. But the question is, who's going to tokenize these assets? My personal take is that it's going to be, a lot of different people, a lot of different organizations, a lot of different blockchains that are going to be working on this. They'll all, eat up some market share. But given what I know about Tezos, I think there's a good chance that they might eat up most of the market share. And to illustrate the progress that they've made and sort of the lead that they have over other blockchains, let's take a look at a few articles. This one is from Yahoo Finance. Why are Brazil's banks choosing Tezos blockchain? By utilizing the new platform for digital securities transactions, the financial institutions address a deal pipeline in excess of $1 billion for existing and prospective token issuances. with an outlook to utilize Tezos to tokenize a wide variety of traditional alternative investments. And the reason they're doing this is because number one, they see Tezos as a global player with a robust blockchain for asset tokenization. Secondly, the ease of use when it comes to creating a smart contract. And on top of that, Tezos has a reputation and a large network of users. And given that Tezos is open source and they have this large network of distributed users, it's going to make the platform that much more resilient. So that's why it's a no-brainer for a lot of these institutions to use Tezos versus other blockchains. And another point that I wanted to highlight was that they have prolific investors like billionaire Tim Draper, who's invested in Tezos and also is a strong supporter. And I really like this quote from Doma Capital CEO and founder Zachary. He says, the addressable market for security tokenization is in the excess of 268 trillion, which is composed of the global stock of investable financial assets. This is the next iterative step in the preservation of blockchain in finance. We see future development in addressing the 595 trillion global derivatives market on blockchain. And really the point that he's trying to make is that it's a really huge pie. Someone needs to do the work and tokenize all these assets, because in his view, it sounds like it's inevitable that these assets will be tokenized. And the fact that he partnered with Tezos, he probably believes that Tezos is going to be one of the leaders. In addition to this partnership, there's been announcements of other partnerships. You have Banda Vinci signs business agreement with Tezos Korea for joint venture of art and real estate securities token. Also, Elevated Return sets to tokenize Thai real estate with a target of 100 million this year. Fundamental Group has developed Germany's first real estate crypto token and has just formed a strategic partnership with Tezos. I mean, I can go on and on and on. And one thing that these guys don't mention is that sure, we're going to tokenize existing assets, but what about new assets? What about new securities? What about new tokens that are issued? I wouldn't be surprised to see Tezos as the blockchain of choice for future ICO projects. I'm sure other platforms will make that process a lot easier for people, but given that Tezos has partnerships with a lot of reputable financial organizations and institutions, I think there's a good chance that sophisticated investors would probably choose Tezos versus other platforms when it comes to investing in ICOs. And this is probably something that's under the radar. I'm sure a lot of people don't know about this, but people are very familiar, at least in the crypto space, about make or die and what they're doing. Well, Tezos is doing something similar, but they're not going to charge any maker fees. They're not only going to issue tokens that are pegged to fiat, but they're also going to issue tokens that are pegged to crypto, commodities, and based on what I've read, they plan to make the whole process a lot cheaper and provide more robust incentives for people that are providing the collateral to back up all these different assets. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised if they move into DeFi soon after this. So again, this is another reason why I'm very optimistic about the future of Tezos. Also, their architecture and their consensus mechanism almost makes the platform fork proof. And we've seen with Bitcoin, Ethereum, whenever there's a fork, the forked chain takes, a lot of the network value. To illustrate the point, just take what happened with Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin. Not only did you have investors and supporters leave, but they also took their network effect with them. So the miners had to choose. Did they want to mine Bitcoin or did they want to mine Bitcoin Cash? Obviously, that had an adverse impact on Bitcoin, at least in the short term. On top of that, the people who decided to bet on Bitcoin Cash probably sold their Bitcoin. So all of these things had a net adverse effect on the Bitcoin blockchain. With Tezos, you're unlikely to get this given the architecture and the consensus mechanism. And for this reason, I believe Tezos is poised to expand their network because they're highly adaptable. And secondly, since they're essentially fork-proof, they're likely to retain any market share that they acquire. And when it comes to validating transactions and voting, they've come up with a unique method. It's called liquid proof of stake, which allows users to retain custody of the Tezos token but delegate the voting rights to somebody else. And they call this baking. So as a Tezos holder, you can actually earn a nominal yield on your Tezos tokens. And I think this is going to appeal to a lot of different investors, even some of the legacy investors who are familiar with, passive income and dividends, because the next best thing to holding an asset that has that has high appreciation potential is earning a yield on it. So I think it's going to incentivize people to hold the token versus selling it off. And even though the token is inflationary, I think if people are incentivized to hold, it'll put some pressure on the overall circulating supply. And generally speaking, that tends to be a very positive catalyst for upward price movement. With all that being said, if you're interested in baking your Tezos tokens, I'm going to go over some of the best platforms that you can use to bake your Tezos. The first platform we're going to cover is Coinbase. If you're not familiar with Coinbase, Coinbase is a crypto exchange based in the United States, and they currently offer users a yield of 5.44%. The first reward takes a while to appear. It'll appear in your wallet in 35 to 40 days, after which you'll receive rewards about every 3 to 6 days. Since this is an exchange, you are handing over your assets to a third party, so you don't have control over them. But because you're doing that, the process is very easy and simple. All you have to do to earn your Tezos is deposit them on Coinbase, and that's all. And the nice thing about Coinbase is that it's often used as a fiat on-ramp, and they have other cryptocurrencies that you can buy here as well. And on top of that, they show you your rewards in real time. And if you want, you can automate your buys like I've done here. I'm purchasing $100 worth of Tezos per week, and this process is fully automated for me. I think this platform is ideal for people living in the United States that just want a simple way to gain exposure to Tezos and earn a decent yield. The next platform we're going to cover is Binance. If you've been in the crypto space for a while, you know who Binance is. They're a very large player. Currently, they're offering their users 6 to 7% if they deposit Tezos with them. Obviously, this is higher than Coinbase. It's actually one of the market's more higher rates. Much like Coinbase, you won't have custody of your assets. You'll have to forfeit that over to Binance. But the benefit of doing that is that all the complexity is taken away. All you have to do is deposit a minimum of 1 Tezos and you'll be eligible to earn the baking rewards. In terms of the payout interval, you'll be getting your payments prior to the 20th day of the following month in which the rewards began to accrue. If you go here to distribution history, you can see how much Tezos you've been paid out. And you can see here on the 19th, I got my first payout of about almost 6 Tezos. In addition to staking your Tezos, you can margin trade, there's future trading, you can lend, you can buy and trade just like any other exchange. Probably not the best fiat on-ramp because you can't link your bank account, but you could always buy your cryptos on a different platform and then transfer them here. Also, you don't have to do a KYC to stake your Tezos on this platform. So for those that are looking to preserve their anonymity, this is probably one of the better platforms to use. Here we have the Trust Wallet. They got major funding from Binance. The people behind the wallet originally planned to fund the project via ICO, but after CZ offered the team a huge buyout, they conceded, and so this is basically a Binance funded project. Much like Ledger, the yield depends on the baker, and the distribution interval is somewhat similar. You do get to keep custody over your assets. However, if you lose your key, you're done. Trust Wallet does not have access to your keys. They won't be able to help you retrieve your keys if you lose them. The app is available on Android and iOS. And staking is relatively easy. All you have to do is click on More, click Stake, choose your validator. And if you didn't know which validator to use, you can use some of the tools that I've linked in the description box below. This here provides you with a lot of information. And if you read this article, it'll give you a better sense of which delegator to choose. I'm going to go ahead and just pick the first one that populated by default. Click Next, tap Send, and that's all. Your tokens are going to be staked and you'll be receiving your staking rewards on a regular basis. And it's a little like the Coinbase wallet. You can actually access dApps through it, at least through the Android. On iOS, you're not able to do that anymore because Apple has prohibited all these wallets from giving the users access to dApps. But you can deposit your funds onto the wallet and plug and play. There's a wide variety of apps that you can choose from. They also allow you to plug into the Binance DEX exchange and also a decentralized exchange. This way, not only can you stake your tokens, but you can access dApps and you can also buy and sell your tokens as well. In fact, I'm planning to do more DeFi videos. For those who are interested in DeFi and using some of the DeFi platforms, this may be an ideal wallet for you. This way you can keep all your funds in one spot rather than having them distributed across multiple platforms. So if you're planning to use some of those dApps, consider playing around with Trust Wallet to see if it's a good option for yourself. With the Ledger, biggest appeal is that you get to keep custody over your assets and you delegate the voting rights to somebody else. And the yield really depends on which baker that you end up choosing, but the process, unlike the exchanges, is a little bit more complex and requires more steps. First, you'll need a Ledger wallet. And by the way, folks, if you're watching this before Valentine's Day, they're having a special buy one, get one free sale. So you might want to take a full advantage of that if having custody of your assets is important to you. Also, I'm going to be doing DeFi videos if you want to use some of these DeFi platforms and keep ownership of your assets on your own hardware wallet. That's another reason why you might want to consider picking up a Ledger today. But anyhow, coming back to my review, I'm going to show you guys how to get set up. The first thing you should do is get Ledger Live for your desktop. Secondly, come here to Manager, type Tezos, and click Install. Once you've downloaded Tezos, you want to come here to Accounts, click Add Account, type in Tezos, click Continue, and on your Ledger, make sure you go into your Tezos wallet. Click Continue again, and then you can name your wallet whatever you wish. Click Add Account and confirm. You can see here that I've added a couple wallets, and I'm going to show you in a second exactly how to stake your Tezos token. Once you've added your wallet, you go here and you type in Tezos, click the wallet. In fact, you can even favorite it so it'll show here on the left hand side of your screen. So let's say I wanted to favorite this Tezos 2 wallet, and you can see that it shows up here to make it more easily accessible the next time you log in. So click on your Tezos account, scroll down, click here on Earn Rewards, click Delegate to Earn Rewards, select the baker that you want to use. For this example, we'll just use the default one that they provide here. Click Continue. On your Ledger, go ahead and confirm the transaction. And that's all. You'll receive your first transaction, your first payment within 40 days of staking your Tezos tokens here on the Ledger wallet. You can see that the process wasn't easy as the exchanges, and you can't buy the crypto here directly. I mean, you could, but you're going to be buying them from a third party, and the process could be a lot more expensive. So again, the process is more complicated than the exchanges. However, you do get the added benefit of keeping custody of all your assets. And also, you don't have to do a KYC for your Nano ledger. This way you can preserve your anonymity while staking your Tezos. Last but not least, we have the Kraken exchange. They currently offer a yield of 6%, and the payout interval is twice a week. And like Coinbase and like Binance, this is an exchange, so you are giving your assets to a third party. You have no custody and ownership over them when you do this. But the process here is a little bit different. Once you deposit your Tezos, you have to click here on Stake Coin and enter the amount of Tezo tokens that you want to be staked. Overall, the process is very easy, but they do require you to do a KYC before doing this. But they've never been hacked. They're based here in the United States. They allow you to margin trade, and they have a mobile application. So if any of those things are important to you, this is probably the best option. And by the way, guys, you don't have to put all your eggs in one basket. You can diversify your holdings across multiple platforms. And I've included links to all the platforms in the description below to make the whole process that much easier for you guys. So make sure you check out the description box after watching this video. Also, I started a Patreon recently. Whether you wanted to donate to my channel to support the work that I do, or if you wanted increased access to me, consider signing up for one of the Patreon tiers that you see here. And if you're interested in joining my Discord channel, make sure you reach out to me on Twitter. I'll give you complete access to that Discord channel so you can join in on the conversation. With that being said, this is CryptoOneStop signing out. I'll talk to you folks next time. Bye.